Well, Memphis Shelby County Schools is almost a month into the new school year, and the district's leadership is still in limbo. So where does the lawsuit against the Memphis Shelby County's Schools Oversight Board stand? And as it stands, the state-appointed Oversight Board tasked with the final approval over the budget, contracts, and staffing is on hold. A judge ruled to allow the elected board members to continue business as usual to allow further review of the case. The education advocacy group Memphis Lift is planning a demonstration at the Shelby County Commission meeting Monday, demanding an end to the MSCS Oversight Board lawsuit. That group's leader, Sarah Carpenter, told me over the phone the lawsuit is a waste of taxpayer money and that the elected leaders need to listen to what the community wants, which she says is the Oversight Board. All right, Luke, we're going to open it up to you here. The Oversight Board, just because you work very closely with somebody who was very pro-Oversight Board here. The lawsuit's kind of like at a standstill now, but what could happen, or what's the next move?
Well, what could happen is the judge could determine that, yes, this is not a legal act by the state and say you're not allowed to do it, or the judge can say, yes, it is, and you could have appeals and all that. So it may take a while to resolve. One thing I do want to say, though, is the school board, the current school board, and the superintendent does not have to wait to start fixing some of the problems found in the audit for the Oversight Board. They could work with the people they need to work with now to start fixing some of those concerns. I think that would show goodwill. I think it would be good for the district. Obviously, there were concerns that were found, so we can fix them now even before the Oversight Board is approved by the judge or not.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. And the protest happening tomorrow, Sarah Carpenter, who's with Memphis Lift, said that there's going to be at least like 20, maybe 30 parents who want the Oversight Board, in her words. So, Otis, I just want to say, you know, should the elected leaders listen to the community on this one?
Well, I mean, that's not universal.
That's true.
Not
everybody.
The whole community is not clamoring for this Oversight Board.
Right.
So let's just put it in perspective there. I just believe that let the courts sort this out. And yes, it may take, if the courts rule, no matter how they rule, it may be appeal or it may keep going. But Luke makes a very good point here. Don't wait for the Oversight Board to either be effective or put into the trash heap. Make some of those changes and corrections where and when you can.
Sam, we're going to have to skip you on this one because we're running into time. But I do want to turn our attention now to Shelby County Mayor-Elect Mickell Lowery. We are taking a look at the people tasked with helping his transition team into office, which he will do on September 1st. Quite a quick turnaround since he was elected. But last week, here was this big event with all maybe in the neighborhood of 60 members on that team who are helping him transition into the mayor's seat. There's 4 categories. There's 6 executive committee members, a whole lot of people in the working group part, and then there's the transition team members, and then roundtable discussion. So there's kind of 4 categories there. Luke, you have a lot of experience with knowing what it takes to get somebody put in office. So what is the purpose of a transition team?
Well, there are a couple purposes. You really do want people who will help you, give you the information and the knowledge you need amongst the various departments, and the other thing is you're satisfying certain political constituencies, those who supported you, key groups that maybe didn't support you in your race. You want to get them involved. You want them inside the tent rather than outside the tent hollering in. So that's another purpose. I think the best thing, quickly back to MSCS, one of the best things Mickell Lowery could do to solidify support from the state and show that he is willing to collaborate with the Republican supermajority legislature is encourage that the lawsuit be dropped about the Oversight Board. I think Paul Young has done a great job in working with the state, not getting involved in hot-button issues that he knows the legislature will disagree with. If Mickell Lowery could do the same thing and show some goodwill, I think that would be very good for Shelby County.
Although he is a commissioner that is listed in that lawsuit, he would be, you're saying he should be the voice to drop it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would build some goodwill between the state legislature and his administration. And again, Paul Young has done a really good job of that, and I would love to see Mickell Lowery do the same.
Paul Young has done a good job in your eyes, but a lot of people think he should be making more of a wave as well. But, you know, that's fair. Sam, your thoughts on the transition team? Is it effective to have this many people and a vetting process of who's on it?
The Shelby County mayor had 25 days from election to taking office. I asked him about this. We had a brief interview last week. He said if he could do anything to change it, he would. Maybe that's something people should think about. You know, I'm just saying, like, is it easy to put together a government in 25 days? No.
That's not enough time. Take it all the way to the end of the year, probably. That's probably a better way to do it. I agree. I sympathize with him having to put that many people. He's got some quality people on there. But as we were talking about in the previous segment, he also had Miss Raven Marshall Lewis on there, and she's head of this daycare center that had the child death. And so the optic of that didn't come across very well, especially when she was going to be head of the early childhood education piece of his new administration. That's bad optics here, and it was a good thing that she stepped aside.
He did address this in an interview at the Urban Roots Farm opening, and he said that he took immediate steps, that it was a mutual parting of ways, and that she needed to focus on that family and obviously the policies.
And I agree with that.
And he mentioned the vetting process, that they're volunteers, they're not paid positions.
Right.
But then it raised the question of should there be a vetting process, even if it is a 60 person.
That's a lot of people in 25 days.
I had heard there are some Republicans on the transition team, and some folks reached out to me saying, I can't believe so-and-so is involved. And I totally disagree with that. If I were asked to be on it, I would have said yes, because I want my perspective to be heard and appreciated. And I would have told him exactly what I just said about the MSCS lawsuit. So
You're
I
becoming
think
a moderate, Luke.
No.
Really comparing.
Wow, we didn't even react to that. That was great. Like,
You're going to ruin my career.
The tag of moderate is so bad.
No, your first appearance on this show is a little different than what we're hearing now.
It is.
We might have to make a little montage of it, actually. But yeah,
Changes in Luke, yeah.
all right, well, on that note, gentlemen, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
We're running into time, as we always do. And thank you all again for watching. This was a great episode. Be sure to watch us next week for ABC24 This Week.